Leaky faucets are annoying and expensive, so let's fix them. First, you need to make sure there's actually an issue with the faucet. It sounds silly, but just make sure the handles are pushed all the way in to verify the faucet isn't open. Then let's figure out which handle is the culprit. You can do this by just pressing really hard on one of the handles to see if that fixes the drip. Yep, looks like the left handle's bad. That's the hot water side. To verify, go under the sink and turn off the hot water valve to make sure that the problem stops. Sure enough, it's the hot water side. We'll need a new cartridge for the faucet. How do we know which one to buy? You'll need the make and model of faucet to find the right cartridge. Sometimes it'll just have the brand right in the front of the faucet, but not in my case. We need to take off one of the faucet handles and look inside of it. There's usually a model number or something printed on the inside of them. Let's go ahead and just take off the hot water handle and look under there. The very first step is to turn off the water. You don't want any surprises when you open this up. Next, lay something like a rag down in the sink. This is so that no little screws or pieces fall down the drain. Then we'll unscrew this little hex screw. On this model, it's about a 2.5, whatever that means. On some faucets it's easier than others, but this one is in a bit of an awkward spot and you need to get a really good angle on it to get it loose. Once you have it almost out, just be careful because it'll fly across the room the moment it's undone. Set it in a safe place. Then it should just be as simple as lifting off the handle. Now let's check on the inside of the handle to see if there's any information. Okay, so 3491501XX L2. Let's search for it and see what happens. Okay, not a lot. Let's add faucet to the end of it, and I'll add the quotes so it'll search for that specific phrase. Pfister's coming up. Let's see if they sell this faucet. Let's go into their bathroom faucets and see what they sell. We'll narrow down the search a bit. Center set, 3 holes, 2 handles, that should be good for now. I'm not seeing it. Let's include their discounted faucets. And hey, that's it. That's the faucet. And it's pro grade. I always knew I was a pro faucet user. Now we have a model number. Let's search for this with a replacement cartridge. Well, hey, that looks like a lot what we have right now in the faucet. Yep, looks just like it. It says 910031 under it. Let's double check that number. Yeah, right here in the spec sheet, it lists this part as 910031 for hot and 910032 for cold. Remember that cartridges are different from each other because they have to turn different directions. Let's search for what we found and see what we get. Sure enough, there we go. Let's order the set and replace both of them. And through the magic of editing, the parts are here. Let's get the hot water tap replaced. With the faucet housing off, we just unscrew this top part with a Phillips head screwdriver. This is just the part that keeps the housing in place. Then we get a pair of pliers and unscrew this bottom retainer. Then we give the whole cartridge a good wiggle and it should come out. In this kind of cartridge, you need to use something like this funny looking pick to pop out the very bottom piece that's still in the faucet pipe, and it'll go supersonic. We can see that the new cartridge will turn in place, which is what lets water in. Just firmly push the cartridge in place, and then turn the top part all the way to the left. Then screw in the top part and tighten on the retainer from before. Now put your faucet handle back on, making sure you're as straight out and to the left as you can. Screw back in your hex screw and make sure everything is nice and attached. Then turn back on the water to make sure everything works. Looks great. So now let's go ahead and change out the cold tap too. It's the same process. Be sure to turn off your cold water. Unscrew the hex nut, take off the handle, and what did we just find? It's a little piece of paper telling us exactly what kind of faucet this is, including the model. This would have been helpful a little while ago. Oh well, my mistake is your gain. Okay, keep going. Take off the stem, unscrew the retainer, and wiggle out the cartridge. Don't forget to fish out that little piece in the bottom. Pop in the new cartridge. Remember that it doesn't really matter how it goes in. Screw in the stem, get the retainer on by hand and then snug it tight, and then add the handle. Now you've got 2 faucets working just as good as new. Leave your own tips or advice in the comments, and be sure to tell me exactly what I did wrong.